Welcome back. The Federal High Court in Abuja granted accelerated hearing of Nnamdi Kanu's case. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, tendered an apology to the court, the judge and his defense counsel over his misconduct and the comments he made during his last trial. Meanwhile, at the reopening of his case, Kanu pleaded not guilty to a 7-count charge of alleged terrorism brought against him by the federal government. He also assured the court of his commitment to maintaining good conduct throughout the remainder of his trial. I still have Abida Israel with me, and of course, Justice Ojenyo is still right here. And of course, from the legal point of view, Nnamdi Kanu pleads not guilty to terrorism charges as trial starts afresh. Now, what are we going to be witnessing as the trial begins? Because as it stands, his legal counsel might have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Okay,
I have serious difficulty commenting on this because, of course, you know that the matter is actively before the court, and it will be prejudicial of me to answer this question in this manner. I will be offending the ethics of my profession.
Okay.
And all. But if you can ask me another question on a related manner.
Agreed, yes. But it doesn't say you should not at least give us an insight into what we might hopefully want to expect now that the case is starting afresh. Apparently, all the issues that actually bedeviled the case and made the case look a bit complicated are falling off. Oh my goodness.
Mark, no.
There we go. All right, Abida Israel, I'll come back to you anyway. Abida Israel, quickly, now that he has apologized for his conduct in court, talking about Nnamdi Kanu, is this to say he has fresh confidence in the legal system as opposed to his outburst where he expressed dissatisfaction on how the case was being handled initially?
If it is what? Is it to say that he has what?
Yes, I'm saying now that he has expressed, he has apologized to the court.
Has apologized?
Yes, now that he's apologized and he's hoping to see something better with the outcome of the case. Are we saying he now has fresh confidence in the legal system as against the outburst the last time where he said he didn't have confidence in the way the case was going? But now that it's starting afresh again, do you think his faith in the legal system has been restored for this case to finally move on as expected?
I think I'll answer that question in the affirmative.
Okay.
Given the fact that before now he had made an allegation of bias against Justice Nyako, who subsequently had to recuse, from the case. So the fact that he has apologized, if for instance he considers himself to have misconducted himself in the course of the trial, and then he apologizes, and then the trial is starting afresh, it goes a long way to showing that he has confidence in the judge, the present judge, now Justice Omotosho.
Okay, now, Justice, I understand the angles you're standing from, but we can't run away from the realities that has actually started off the case initially. I will take you up on something that I feel you would have to comment on now, because if you recall, one of Kanu's lawyers, Nemeka Ojefor, described Kanu's arraignment in court without the presence of his legal representative as against the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. Now, do you think this was what complicated the case that brought us here from the very beginning?
Okay, I want to assume that those proceedings are already terminated. The fresh proceeding before the court is a new case, so this gives me the lacuna to be able to talk on this point.
Okay.
So I feel that potentially will be one of the reasons, even though he also raised some other reasons as to why he feels that he might not be able to get a fair trial before Justice Binta Nyako of the FCT High Court. And I'm very, very happy that at least he introspected and took the opportunity to apologize to not just the prosecuting counsel, learned senior advocate of Nigeria, Awomolo. He also apologized to the court, to Justice Binta Nyako herself, and also to his own counsels at the time. So I feel that a lot must have gone into the reasons why he feels that he won't be able to get a fair trial. And it is very, very important for a defendant to have serious confidence in the process that will deliver justice to him or her in one way or the other. So now that he may feel that the confidence is restored, we expect that every party will be able to cooperate with the criminal justice system so that the outcome will be, at least to a large extent, it won't be one that the defendants will not be able to say, give one excuse of bias or the other. So that's generally the way I say it.
All right, Israel, quickly, from the way the whole case has been playing out, you are a lawyer. From a legal standpoint, what would you say has been, your assessment with the way this case has been handled so far? And owing to the fact that now that the case is about to start afresh, what are your expectations moving forward?
Let me quickly say that I'm not yet a lawyer.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a law graduate.
Okay.
I've attended Nigerian law school.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
but I'm yet to be called to the Nigerian bar.
All right. No. Thanks for that clarification. But
yes.
I'm just asking from a legal point of view what your assessment is, because I know you've also been following up the case for a while before now.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, my assessment of the whole legal battle is that from the beginning, when for instance, a litigant, or let's say when a person is before the court, let's say a defendant is before the court,
yeah,
and then he feels there is element of bias in the judge before whom he is appearing, it is within his right to raise the issue of bias, because bias goes into the jurisdiction of the court. And so that is what we saw in the very first case. That is the case when the case was before Justice Nyako. The defendant himself raised the issue of bias, and then the court immediately had to address the issue of bias, which led to the recusal of Justice Nyako in the case. So now that the matter has been transferred to Justice Omotosho, like I said earlier, confidence has been restored. I believe confidence has been restored in the defendant. And just like Justice said, Honorable Justice said, all the parties should be expected at this moment to cooperate with the proceedings. And what we should expect, without running the risk of commenting on the matter because it's already in court, but generally what we should expect under any criminal justice system is that he who alleges must prove. He who alleges must prove. So the onus still lies, the burden of proof lies on the prosecution party to prove the allegation leveled against the leader of the IPOB.
Okay, thank you. Now, time is already lapsing, but I have to take you up on this. There was also a period when he was insisting the case be transferred to the Southeast to have a soft landing, so to say. He didn't say that in context, but of course, we all know why he wanted the case to be transferred to the Southeast. So is that also to say that to a great extent, sometimes two favors are also sought to give them a soft landing? That is why they are always, prescribing to have the case transferred, because knowing fully well that, look, where I am here, I might be gagged in all corners. Probably when I get to where I feel I have a bit of some kind of influence, maybe, just maybe, things might work out fine for me. Okay,
for us as lawyers in active practice, one of the things we usually do is we bring every sort of motion to either try to delay a case or to try to get the best deal for our client. So it's possible that it's his lawyers that suggested to him, in order for him to be able to enjoy what we call better territorial jurisdiction.
Now I'm left a new one, territorial jurisdiction.
Yeah, territorial jurisdiction. Okay. But one thing we have also observed is that because of the sensitivity of some kind of cases, for example, a case like this, a high-profile case like this, election petition cases, we saw that Edo State Judicial Tribunal, Electoral Judicial Tribunal, was recently moved from Edo State to Abuja. So I feel that it is most unfortunate that we do not have a situation where we have confidence and peace and security enough for a person or an activity that happened in a particular part, in a particular neck of the Nigerian wood, is to be tried there. Okay. Why are we having high stakes issues where everything has to end in Abuja? Okay. Sometimes we go to court as normal lawyers, we are thinking that we'll have a regular day, and we see security men everywhere. Gathered around the courts and restricting everybody's movement. And that greatly sometimes can be a breach to the provisions of Section 36 and cases like Menakaya and Menakaya that says that the court has to perpetually be a public place. where everybody can come and observe proceedings. At least if everybody is not coming, they should be able to have an opportunity or confidence that when they get to court, they will be able to observe proceedings. And that's where we usually say that light is a strong disinfectant. So when people have the opportunity to be able to, when the public generally have the opportunity to be able to see court proceedings, at least everybody knows that there's a tendency that it is very, very fair. So I feel that to a large extent, we have to work on the security in our country so that the provisions of the Constitution can be maximally observed, not these situations where, what if his gate man is really interested in observing his proceedings? Where will they get the ticket to be able to get to Abuja? Even when they get to Abuja, what's the guarantee that they will be able to get into the courtroom? Why are we vetting people?
Or should we advocate for televised court hearings now so people don't have to bother about
we have televised court hearings, but we need to expand it.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Well, Justice General, thank you so much for your time on the show.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that you opted not to expand too much because you feel the case is in court. But hopefully, as the case proceeds, we might get more facts.
I will talk more when the case is concluded.
Okay. Abida Israel, thank you so much for also coming on the show. Appreciate you, and I hope to see you some other time. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. And that's our show for today. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our social media platforms at TVC News NG or on our website at tvcnews.tv. I am Marco Tabo. Until next week, goodbye.